Unusual couple, you know.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
Heavenly shades of night are falling. It's twilight time.
Wanda and Vision, aren't we a five-pair?
Our story.
I think what my wife means to say is that we moved from...
Moved from where? Married when? Damn it, why?
Oh, Arthur, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Wanda, can you read me? Can you read me? Wanda, can you read me? Who's doing this to you?
Are you here to help us?
Deep in the dark, darkest filled room.
Is this really happening?
Like days of old.
We just don't know what to expect.
What is up, people? What is up? Welcome to the first episode of WandaVision Roundtable. I do appreciate everybody that came and checked us out. Got a nice little panel here. A few people are missing. I'll just add them in when they come in. But we're gonna do it kind of like we did the Mandalorian. You know, give your good thoughts, dislikes, and then we'll get into your ratings and stuff like that. You know, what's up, people in the chat? Danny, Nindroid, Gerd, Dandelion, how you guys doing? First thing we'll do is we'll go around the panel so that you guys can talk about your channels. Be nice if you guys would unmute, though, so that you can talk. But Gaiska, tell the people about your channel, my friend.
Absolutely. I'm Gaiska from the Basco Scenario. You can catch me here on Sundays on Anzo's WandaVision table. As well on Tuesdays, you can find me on the Chaos Lists, as well as Wednesdays on the Rule of Three, and also right after that on the OOC.
Excellent. And first time on my channel, and I'm happy to have you on the channel, Comix Division. How you doing, man? Tell the people about
pretty
your
good,
channel.
man. Well, you can follow me at, on Twitter at Comix Division. My channel's name is Comix Division, and live stream every Monday and every Thursday. And occasionally I make content, which I've been really behind on.
I know the feeling. Trust me on that. Positive Candor, you are up, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm
Excellent.
good. Yeah, you
Tell
can
the
catch
people.
me on Positive Candor. I did a pretty in-depth review and discussion on Friday of the first two episodes, which since I did two at first.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, can catch me there. Catch me on Twitter, Positive Candor as well.
Excellent. And last but not least for now, LDG.
Hello, LDG, are you there? Get me out of here. What's going on, guys? What's happening? LDG Pixels tech support guys have any issues with the computers? YouTube channel helping you crack the algorithm, and also on Geeks. Enjoy Nerdrotica, where we do the waiting room. We place the stream between the streams. We get to hang out, relax, promote those who matter, who deserve it, and open panels, open conversations, and lots of fun. Thanks for having me on the Wanda round table here, man. Can't wait to have some fun tonight.
Excellent. Glad you guys could be here. Chris and JJ will probably be in a little bit later, but we'll just start it off like we should do it. You know what I mean? What we're going to do now is we're going to discuss what we liked about the show. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, you know what I mean? We'll save that part. But your thoughts on what you thought of the show, what you liked about it. Gaishka, go ahead.
I like the originality that how they're doing this. The whole old school, hats off to the old school sitcoms from back in the day, Bewitched. I forgot what the other one was. The earlier one.
I Love Lucy.
I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
All that. and you know, just the way they're just planting it full of Easter eggs. It's like, you know, a geek stream, right? That's what I loved about it. Yeah.
Great.
Well, I'll go into details after.
No problem. And comics.
I really enjoyed it. I growing up, I watched a lot of I Love Lucy and Bewitched, and I just love how they really kind of captured that flavor of not just that style of sitcom, but the era of which they were, developed in. So it was very well done, very smartly done, and it was fun. It was really fun, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Excellent. Positive Candor, you are up.
All right. Yeah, I enjoyed how the first episode was basically, based on 50s sitcoms. Like, Dick Van Dyke Show is the main one that they were going after for the 50s look. And then the second episode was more of a 60s, which was, to me, more of the Bewitched style. So, they're basically shifting a decade each episode, basically.
Yeah, because at the end, well, we'll discuss that later. And LDG, go ahead.
Mixed emotions here. Being a super duper fan of Nick at Night, the Dick Van Dyke Show, I Love Lucy, all of that. As far as the nostalgia point of view of the first episode, 10 out of 10. Seriously. Their acting, the way they nailed their roles. I mean, there were the parts where you literally thought like you were remembering episodes of Dick Van Dyke, and while you were watching it, they nailed it. But like I said, there were a few things like I had to take my metformin because I'm diabetic. There's way too many Easter eggs for okay. I mean, I literally felt dizzy almost. The fact that this was originally supposed to be they were supposed to release the whole thing at once. Instead, they're doing it this little breadcrumbs at a time, I think is actually doing more damage than good, because we're going to have to now wait a week for every episode. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, it depends what you wanted to get from it. These are like some things I think they needed to improve on, or we just need to wait on.
It was always planned as a series, though, right?
It was, but I heard the guy said it was supposed to all come out at once. All 9 episodes were all supposed to be released.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Kevin Feige said that specifically.
Yeah, I think the binging model is a bad idea though, because I think with releasing it
only
episode at a time, people are going to talk about it more. I mean, look at us. We're going to be covering this. How many episodes are there? Are there 8? So we'll Nine. So we'll be covering this for like 8 weeks. So that's actually good that they're doing it, because we're going to be talking about it way more. If they just released everything and we reviewed it, and we just have one stream and that's it. So I think the longer you can get people talking about it,
because of the Mandalorian. Yeah, because of the Mandalorian, they switched it up. Yeah.
And I'll say you're absolutely right, because Cobra Kai came out and I binge watched it, and then it was done. I was like, shit, I got no more Cobra Kai to watch, So I'm kind of switching my thoughts around on it coming out weekly. I do like the fact that it has come out weekly. As for me, I enjoyed it. I sat there and I was like, okay, this is different, which is something that I really liked. It like we'd never seen this in the MCU before, So they're doing old sitcoms. I mean, jokes were corny and stuff like that, but other than that, the acting and everything was great. The first 2 episodes were really good, so I'm excited to see what happened next, and all the little hints and Easter eggs, like LDG said, man, those things were like, wow, like what the hell is going on? So I'm definitely happy that we're finally getting some new MCU shit, and it's good. I was iffy about this one when I first heard about it. I thought this would be the one that I just really wouldn't enjoy and didn't want to see, but after watching it, I'm invested. So
apparently Danny hates it.
Yeah, I know.
Going off. He's like, am I the only one on this island? Yes, Gilligan.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. You know what? From coming after this. All right, we're doing okay. All right, I mean, after the horrible S storm of Endgame, I'm glad to get a little refreshing. We're past that. Okay, now we can breathe and let's see what they're going to do next.
That's why you got to get yourself on this panel, Daddy, and get better so that you can come up here and tell us what you didn't like about it, But I knew right away, as I finished this first episode, I was like, oh, Danny is going to hate this. I knew it right away. I knew Danny was going to hate it. Chris is in the house. What's up, Chris?
Doing all right. Danny not making it tonight?
No, Danny's not feeling well, so it'll probably be next week.
Okay, cool.
So what we did was talked about our channels and then gave our overall of it. So you can go right ahead, my friend.
Real Review 3000, Chaos Central, of course, with Anzo. Guys been helping out over there too, and Danny. Good to see you, Comix. I forgot. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, he's here. It's like, my brain today is. This is why I'm glad I'm not running this one today, because it's like, oh my god. Yeah, you can find me on the Real Review 3000, trying to push up further on our subs and stuff. Got a lot of things coming up with the Chaos Central stuff. Yeah, so with that said, overall thoughts. Kind of a what the fuck did I just watch? Let me put this.
Like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it was bad. I thought it was kitschy. The first one was kitschy. They did back off a little bit at a little bit more in the second one, which again, I thought these were supposed to be longer. So what did I mean? How many of these are they releasing?
9. Nine.
Not okay. Because originally I thought it was only 6 or something. I don't know. Anyways, whatever. They started integrating more of whatever's going on isn't real, because at the end of the second one, she doesn't like the way it's ending. She knows something's up, so she knows in the back of her mind, she really knows what's going on. She's just trying to trick herself that it isn't actually the way it is. Because when she sees the guy coming out of the manhole and she sees the logo, because the logo is starting to show up if you watch this. That logo is starting to show up in a lot of stuff, even in the first episode. I think it was in like 1 or 2 things in the kitchen.
The helicopter.
No, not just the helicopter. It's like a B symbol or something like that.
Sword.
Yeah, it is. But she sees it and she sees him coming out and she's like, no. And she stops everything. It rewinds and goes back to where she wants to be, which is with him in this fantasy world. It makes it very clear. So I did like the fact that they started. It was like the first one was just, let's have fun with this and let's go just full on stupidity. I enjoyed it to an extent because it was kind of that standard 50s bad comedy that had the canned laughter. I didn't mind that. But trying to follow it and what because here's the thing, while it was fun to watch in a sense, it was completely unnecessary because you got to move this story along. You can't waste an episode just to fuck around. Stop it.
Danny hates it so much.
I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Let me rephrase. Let me finish this though. They in the second one, they started definitely integrating that something's going on. I like the way that it's like it's in a control room. So again, I think either she is making herself not. She's trying to shelter herself from what's really happening. Maybe she's locked up in a place for her safety, or somebody else is doing it to her. I think she's doing this to herself because she seems to be in control of it. But the third one, we're definitely going to have to learn more about what's going on. we got to actually get a glimpse in whatever's in that control room or somebody in wherever they're at.
Well, we got another one that agrees with Danny. Khalib says, for real, this show is straight ass. And I'm not even going to lie. My son watched it and I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? He said the same thing, So
It just,
yeah, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say, it's up in the air right now. I enjoy how they're doing it. But if that second one hadn't gotten more onto the premise, they're going to have to really change the tone though, because right now it's too sitcom comedy. That
that's kind of the point. I
think
it's going to get darker as it goes on.
It's gonna have to. So if it continues this,
mature more with the decades, right? Because you had the more innocent 50s, the Gilded Age, and then where the 60s, you kind of start losing that polish, and I think it's definitely going to get darker as the decades progress with each episode.
I think as the decades, just playing it, Steve. I think it's going to definitely do what you say there, comics, and go darker as the decades go by. But I think as the decades go by, more and more things are going to invade her ability to change what's going on. More of the real world's going to start coming in, because again, the helicopter was really interesting how they did that. The radio, obviously, it's in her head because what's going on around her, these people don't understand. Kudos to Feige and the rest of the people who are on this show, though, for changing "Help Me Rhonda" to "Help Me Wanda" and making it sound like the original. Because I heard it and I'm like, what?
No,
but they did a really good job of figuring out how to make it sound like the original with Wanda in it.
I agree.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think there might be some room for misinterpretation.
Don't feel stupid.
I don't think she rewound the film.
You don't think she did?
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. First, we'll go around and we'll talk about the things that we actually liked in the show, right? We'll get in, then you can get into some of your details and stuff like that. But, Gaishko, what did you actually like about we can go into both episodes if you want to, not an issue.
I loved how they interpreted those commercials with the Easter eggs. The way they just showed us, forget about the past, believe in the future, something along those lines. The toaster, then the watch, right on the second episode. We all know who that was. That's the person that did all the tests on Wanda, right? So I love how they integrated that. I liked also in the beginning how when they're all sitting at the table and his boss starts choking.
Yeah.
How I'm going to call her Kitty because that's how I remember her. Kitty started saying, stop it. Stop it.
Stop.
Stop.
Yeah.
But then when she's saying that, how it quickly turned the stop it was directed at Wanda for her to stop it. And nobody was moving at the table until Wanda said, help him. So it shows that this all is a concoction of her mind, and she is somewhat in control of it, but she's, for me, stuck in this abyss. So I like the fact that they're really linking things into the 80s, right? The 80s comic book. How, there was scenes of the Easter eggs, and you have to go slow, when it goes through the floor and the animation, right? In the second episode. And the animation, there's a dark imprint of a helmet, like it's kind of like a helmet, right? And that helmet looks exactly like the Grim Reaper.
It is,
right? And but it's throwing me off because I'm seeing that. I'm like, oh, it's a Grim Reaper. I'm like, I remember that. She makes a deal with him, and then I'm like, no, wasn't it? Because I have to go back and make my research because it's so long ago, I don't remember. But then when the episode ends that she's pregnant, then I remember that was with Mephisto, right? So I like all these Easter eggs, and this is the thing about this show that's really good. It's all these Easter eggs are making us come up with our own conclusions or assumptions of what's to come. And like Comix said, I agree with them 100%. The fact that they're doing this one episode, we got teased with 2 episodes this week, but 1 episode per week, it's gonna make everybody like wait to see it on Friday. And it's just great. That's what I love. The thing that I didn't like about this, and there was only one thing I didn't like.
We'll get into the dislikes.
Oh, dislikes. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we'll get into the dislikes after. Comix, what's up, man? What did you like about the episode?
Sorry, my camera apparently just cut out.
Yeah, it's okay.
Man, okay. First off, I gotta ask Guyscar, is this actually based off a comic series?
Yes.
Okay.
House of M.
Yes.
So it is House of M. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's the series I've never actually read. But I did get some kind of Pleasant Hill vibes off of it, which was a lead into a Secret Empire, which I thought was kind of interesting. They took these villains and kind of like re-educated and wiped their minds and stuck them in this kind of town. It was like a small town, so it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. I liked the first episode very much, how they played with those tropes of, the 1950s sitcoms, and they pulled that off really well. And it starts off very light, but you kind of start seeing the sinister aspects of the world, very, very subtly in the first episode, and they definitely ramp it up quite a bit in the second. And I think that's probably going to continue on throughout the rest of the series. The acting in it was phenomenal. I love the neighbor. How she's trying to help her cook, and she keeps trying to like get her out the door, and it reminded me a lot of like I Love Lucy. And like I said, growing up, I watched a lot of these things, because my mom was really big into these shows, so I watched a lot of them in syndication. And so the way they're able to capture it, play with those tropes that exist in those shows, I thought was great. And like I said, the acting was phenomenal, and I think it was very well done. And I'm really kind of curious to see what the payoff is going forward.
Yeah, me too. Definitely. Chris, you're up.
And really quick, Caleb, it is based loosely off of House of M.
Yeah,
it's not based off of any one particular thing, but it is. Even Feige and some of the other people involved in the project stated that it's got a lot of subtle hints towards it, and it's I don't know. We'll see at the end of this season how closely it kind of follows it. What I liked, I liked how they made it look like the sets of the 50s. It was very. I mean, if you have an HD TV like most people do these days, you can really see how those wood beds and stuff are just very plain and simple. The stuff in the 50s, the like Ozzie and Harriet and stuff like that, it looked like I was watching that. The fact that the window, as they were viewing into the window when the
tree,
when the tree was tapping on it, you could tell how much of a set it was, but they're not trying to hide it there. But when they went to the park, much like in a regular,
Donnie's killing me, boy.
When they went to the park in the second episode, much like it looked, it was shot in a much bigger outside area, even if it was on a set, or backstage somewhere, it looked more realistic. But their ability to change that, the office set looked like it came out of freaking Mary Tyler Moore's show or the Dick Van Dyke show. I mean, it felt like that type of thing. It was so great to see that even though they're really trumping it up, they're really making it really, campy in that sense. It's amazing that they're able to still pull it off in a way that it's like I'm watching one of those shows. So, I mean, for a minute, watching the whole episode, I was sitting there going, my God, I hope they change it. But at the same time, wow. I mean, because, again, Disney, you got all the money in the world to put your CGI into this. The scene in the kitchen in the first episode where she's pulling stuff out of the cabinet, that was using the string to have those things pull and fly across the kitchen and stuff. It was so old school magic, like from Bewitched and stuff. And again, the commercials, the intros, how they do the intro to the show and all that. They're changing things up, but it's nostalgic, so it kind of keeps you like, ooh, that's kind of cool how they do that. So it made up for the things it's lacking so far. I have a feeling, like Comix said, it will take a flip and go from this nostalgic, fun, wow, that's amazing that they're doing that, to boom, they'll have a little bit of that here and there, but it'll be more meat.
Right, because you can see there's already little hints of it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I liked about it. But go ahead, Positive Candor, you are up, my friend.
All right. Yeah, I liked how they've broken so far each episode into decades, and supposedly episode 3 will be 70s based. So yeah, based on that, I like how the first one was exclusively black and white, except for the toaster, the red part of the toaster, basically, of the Stark toaster, which is again an Easter egg in itself, symbolizing the bomb in their apartment of where their parents were at and stuff in Age of Ultron.
That makes so much sense. Yeah, man.
I didn't even think about that. It's been a long time since I watched that movie.
What did you just say? I'm sorry. Say that again.
I said in Age of Ultron, because
it was a Stark bomb that killed the parents. Yeah.
The toaster is ticking. It's like a bomb, and that's what it symbolizes.
Yeah, I caught that, but I wasn't sure what it was. What exactly it was referencing?
Yeah, it's referencing that bomb that was in the apartment that they were in Sokovia.
I just had an epiphany. It's just,
wow. Just like obviously the Strucker watch is Baron von Strucker of Hydra, and it says Hydra on the watch, and it has a Hydra symbol. So obviously those are two callbacks to Age of Ultron. But yeah, I like how the second episode is based on the 60s from the beginning, how the 60s started in black and white, and then the 60s, if you remember, went to color at the end. And that's how this episode ended, with it going to color at the end, basically, of the decade of the 60s. So it's spot on as far as the way that they're using everything perfectly as far as that kind of setup. And yeah, there's like a 1,000,001 Easter eggs in these things, and it alludes back to not only Age of Ultron, but House of M and everything else, basically, especially comics and stuff like that. But yeah, especially the sword, because sword is basically shield in the future. So, which is probably what shield is called now, is sword. And then the whole beekeeper, is he? Who is he? What does he symbolize? Deal. I've heard two different views on him as far as what he could be alluding to. But I won't get it. I won't get into that yet. But yeah, I just like how they, I mean, the episodes themselves, when you think about it, are your usual 50s and 60s tropey kind of episodes, basically, when you think about it. But it's just all the Easter eggs they throw in there that you really got to watch, and then it says directed by A. Brown. And that's also an Easter egg and stuff like that. So, for the first one, they just constantly put in Easter eggs basically into both episodes, and I think they're just going to throw more and more, especially with the helicopter being Iron Man's colors. And stuff like that as well. That's again because remember, Iron Man was their enemy. In Age of Ultron, really.
Yep.
So,
and even if you want to take it a little further, he was kind of Wanda's enemy in Civil War too, right?
Yeah.
So
and the whole illusion thing. Remember when she used her powers and made people think of different realities and stuff like that?
Their fears.
That they're alluding to that as well in here a lot. So, and then I also liked how Vision basically looks like Clark Kent with his glasses on.
Oh,
at the office.
There's a definite Superman vibe with the like the 50s Superman show.
Yeah, with with the Adventures of Superman show that had George Reeves in it. So yeah,
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, so I got that vibe just because of the glasses thing and him having to change his look. Basically, obviously, he can't go as himself.
I kind of wonder. And I just thought of this also. I'm just having a bunch of epiphanies right now, but it's funny that nobody else recognizes the weird things that are going on. But Vision in the work scene did have did understand that it didn't make sense that there was nothing that they did, but they were still doing it.
They compute stuff. What are we computing? We're computing stuff.
Yeah, it's like, so I'm wondering here if perhaps he's not as out of commission as we think he is.
I think he knows what's going on, but he's just going along with it. Yeah, he's still dead.
I think they're going to delve into the multiverse kind of deal too.
Yeah, so I'll get to my other thing that I thought of.
But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, before LDG goes, go ahead with your epiphany. What do you think?
Okay, my thought process here is okay. It's SWORD, not SHIELD. SWORD is Sentient World Observation and Response Department. Where was the last time we saw SWORD or anybody from the MCU involved with SWORD? It was on the spaceship with Nick Fury, right?
Well, Spider-Man.
At the end of Captain Marvel.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then yes, it's mentioned in Spider-Man. What if that's where she's at, is on that spaceship? Because they're trying to keep her away from Earth. And then my other thought process here is in House of M, I can't remember. It's been a while since I've read the series. But I think that it's highly implied that she may not be, that she's controlling some of it, but somebody's controlling her too. Mm-hmm. Now, I know Magneto has nothing to do with that yet, but this could end up being an introduction to the X-Men, because I've always said she's your way in. You haven't denied the existence of mutants, but you have not acknowledged the X-Men yet. If, let's say, Charles Xavier, this is early on, what if Charles Xavier and Magneto are on a good basis right now, and Xavier's on the ship or involved with SWORD and trying to keep her on some sort of an even plane keel, because she's not in control of it enough, and she's trying to cope with, because in House of M, she's literally coping, and she makes this magical world for people to live their dreams out, basically. And so what if that's kind of what's going on? I see this, since this is supposed to tie into the Multiverse of Madness, and we know that Deadpool 3 is going to be coming out. We know Deadpool is going to possibly have a cameo. What if this all is a mix of typical MCU stuff, where they're going to hint and start running the mutant storyline from this show?
Well, they do have an Easter egg for Fantastic Four in this.
Mm-hmm.
Which one? I must have missed it. Which one?
It's the heart symbol.
Oh, yeah.
That was at that intro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, the one thing I do like, and I'm surprised, Danny, that you don't, is the amount of Easter eggs opens this up to. Again, I see this, and they even said this before this came out, that this was going to be a major key to the direction of the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be, like we've said before, closer to the Multiverse of Madness. It was supposed to tie into that. It probably still will. But I am just intrigued. And so, Danny, all I say is give it time.
It's tying into Spider-Man, too.
Oh, it's gonna tie into all that, but it's gonna.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's going to pull. It's basically Disney's way to try to get everything lined up to bring things into the MCU without having to restart everything.
Well, keep that thought because I want to get predictions on where it's going at, like where you think the series is going to go.
Now, Danny brought up something which I think a lot of people have figured out, that this is leading into Secret Invasion. And the issue is that they've kind of already messed that up a bit with Captain Marvel. Where they kind of made the immigration allegory with the Skrulls. And I don't know, I've heard that those were the good Skrulls. We're now evil Skrulls now. And I think it's going to kind of confuse people because I don't think they planned that movie out very well. So
yeah, because I heard that they're going to do a Secret Invasion and the Skrulls are going to be bad or something. So I don't know. I think
people are going to be confused with that though. It's like, well, they were good in this other movie. Why are they bad now?
Yeah, I agree. We'll see how they do it, you know. LDG, what did you like?
Well, most bad guys, at least when I was growing up, were originally good people, just twisted at the end. So I wouldn't mind that as long as they described it properly or did it right. But on a further tense, before Christopher Robin's the entire damn double episode, it was good to see. All right, and anyone who follows me, you guys know my thoughts of recent shows that we've been watching, whether it be Star Trek, Picard, Discovery, etc. It's good to see a show that isn't doing the Dora the Explorer plot. All right, we're going to the mountain, we're going over here, we're following the map, and then finally we have 2 episodes of actual plot. Or the famous Discovery Wizard of Oz plot. Don't pay attention to the actual crappy plot behind the special effects. It's good to see that we're actually seeing a show here that's taking a Matrix, Truman Show, Inception kind of feel to it. Again, these 2 episodes, they were designed to do this. Okay, they weren't going to tell us anything. They knew that this was breadcrumbs. Okay, and the small breadcrumbs we got were meaningless and meaningless until they have further context. Right now, they're meaningless.
Right. Okay.
Now, before you interrupt me, Almighty, like I said, they can go different directions right now. Like I said, but for instance, I don't believe she rewound it. Okay, I think that was the control room. When you see something that rewinds the entire damn screen, that doesn't make sense. I think that was the control room. I think that damn beehive she wasn't supposed to see, and they had to rewind the film real quick. And that was the only thing that they could do. Now, I also think her subconscious is fighting. And I think her subconscious is what's turning things into color. That whole part at the end of the second scene, I think that was her subconscious trying to help her to say, wake the hell up. Here's some things I can do. Because you notice every time something color happened, something happened to change her mind. Like when the neighbor came by, when she saw the airplane, the whole just the way they're doing it. I'm seeing that there's 2 forces at play right now. There's the people in the control room, and then there's her subconscious. Now, obviously, she's stuck somewhere. Okay, whether it's and I like the credit scene because the credit scene they went into the Matrix. You saw that you went into the screen with the pixels, and instead of 1s and 0s, you saw pixels, and they started doing that whole I see enter the Matrix vision with making everything look like pixels in the Matrix. You know what I mean? So they're kind of hinting that maybe she's in some kind of construct, even if it's in her own mind. And the control room is where they are in there with her. It's a screen of inside of her mind. And if you notice that whether it be the commercials or even the credits, the control room is seeing all that. She even breaks the 4th wall at the end and looks at the camera when Control's seeing her look at the camera. Okay. There was one more point. Oh, Vision. We all know Vision's dead. Okay. Vision's dead.
Well, is Vision really something that, okay, his life force can be taken from him, but he's still.
But go ahead. Yeah.
I'm asking in general, is he's dead, but is he dead without the chance of being brought back to life?
Who knows? I mean, maybe we'll find out at the end of the series.
Yeah. I don't think no one's in chance when it comes.
in
Well,
Wakanda,
if you remember,
they did a backup.
They what?
Yeah.
They
If you
backed up
remember-
in Wakanda.
Yeah. Yeah.
They did.
And so maybe that has something to do with what's going on, is that maybe it's them putting him in there as a way to help control what's going on.
And what I was trying to end that last point I was trying to make.
Sorry,
Was
LG.
that no, it's okay. I can dance with God. Listen, he's dead, but what I was trying to say is maybe he can come back. Maybe there's a way for Vision to come back. I hope he does, because you know why? Anybody who knows the true story of the Infinity Gauntlet, Vision doesn't die. Okay, neither does Thanos. Anyway,
you knew you were getting into Anzo.
I know.
Point being, trying to make here, and I'll give up the throne after that. Was that if you notice that scene where the guy was choking, and she keeps having this dead stare. She had it twice, right? One in the first episode, one in the second episode, but she it's like she's having an aneurysm almost, where she just has this dead stare, and everyone's playing along with corruption happening. The guy's choking, nobody's doing anything. She's like, stop it. And even Vision looked like he was playing a part. It didn't look like he was conscious. The only one that looked like that was still a person was her. So right. I think even he is part of the system. I don't think he is actually Vision. I think at the moment he is part of the system as well.
I agree. Yeah, that makes sense.
I think it's just her.
Well, but he's
and whoever's on the other side of that radio. Sorry, whoever was on the other radio, whether that be Ant-Man or you think it's some kind of, oh my God, like they actually would bring in the X-Men if they even had, whatnot. I don't know, but whoever else was on the other end of that radio.
Well, and Geiscar brought up a good point. I'm not saying you're wrong about that, but if his digital self could be loaded into this program, which we know this is taking place in what's considered current times of the MCU, they'd be very easily able to bring up a digital Vision with everything that Vision knows, which would explain why he understands even that's what's going on in here. He's aware, but he's not aware enough to know that perhaps, because what we saw die on the screen had all of that knowledge and all that information, but it's also over there in Wakanda. And if they use that to help try to control her, maybe it is just them controlling her, and it's one of the means of control.
Because remember what Bruce says, right? He says we can remove the stone because there will still be a lot of Vision left, because it's part of Tony, it's part of Jarvis, part of Voltron, right? So what I'm thinking is maybe they were trying to bring him back, and they had to use her powers to bring him back. She got locked into whatever multiverse, call it whatever, where she's living now, and she got a glimpse of how her life can possibly be, and she's fighting herself right now in the whole lost reality. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, I'll tell you what I liked. This show is it's like smoke and mirrors. That's exactly what it is, man. They're showing you something, but they're hiding a lot of shit behind the scenes. So you got to really watch it and pay attention. And that's one thing that I love about it. Like the acting and stuff is really good, but it's all the what the hell is going on that is really confusing me. Has me intrigued, I should say. Another thing too is I think some of those people in there are real people. I really do. I think there's someone's controlling Wanda. I don't think it's Sword. I think Sword is trying to save Wanda because the radio says Wanda. I think it might be Hydra too.
Maybe.
I really do. I think it might be Hydra too. And I think Sword is trying to save them because when you hear the radio, it's like, Wanda, who's doing this to you?
Yes.
Wanda, who's doing this to you? So someone is doing something to Wanda, but she is controlling it. Let's get that straight. She's controlling it, but someone is manipulating it. That black woman, from what I read, is an agent of Sword. So how she gets mixed up in it, I'm not sure yet. But it's just when you watch the episodes, you're like, man, okay, I Love Lucy, whatever. You see the sets and everything is nice, but you got to look past that and you got to look to see what they're hiding in there. You know what I mean? And that's why I say it's like every time Wanda something happens, like when she sees the helicopter, someone comes along to change her mind. You know what I mean? And start talking about someone else. When the glass broke in the woman's hand, you know what I mean? She slipped and she's like, oh yeah, and then walked away, and then it turned into something different. So I definitely think that there is something behind it. Mr. Sinister would be nice or something like that, but I don't think it's that yet. I really don't, you know. But at the end of the day, I thought this was going to be like the one show that I wasn't going to like, but the mystery of it and that it's so different from anything that Marvel has
they've got a lot of people, not Danny, but I think this is what's gonna happen is what's keeping us watching right now that's making Danny hate this. It's going to become, and again, Comics said it's going to hit that apex point that everything meets. It's going to get Danny on board. We're going to be on board. We're going to get it. We're going to be like, I see what they're doing. Yes, please. That's early on. It's really early to say that, but I do think this show has an opportunity, and it's really going to tell you. Again, this is the MCU side. This is Feige. Feige has hit home run after home run after home run with little to no resistance, and he's got a good chance here again.
Yeah, that's a big risk with what they did, right? What they're doing, you know what I mean? Because like I said, it's nothing they ever did before. So it's like, you know, younger generations, and I can see it with my son, I don't know about others, but, you know, are like, oh, what is this? This is old school, but you got to keep with it, man, because I don't think they're going to keep this formula for the whole series. I think it's going to start connecting, and then boom, we're going to get into some real, like, what the hell is going on type.
Well, we saw in the trailer, the military. We know Rambo's in it. We know there's going to be a lot of things starting to come in. And I do know that because a lot of that ends up happening within that world, that perhaps it's more real than we realize.
I think so too.
Which I do agree with you that I think a lot of these people are real.
Because especially when the woman breaks the glass on her hand and it's real blood, you know what I mean? So I think that might be a hint that she might be a real person in there. And I think that some of them are just trying to, because House of M, the comic book, Wanda has kids. And if you're watching the show in both series, she gets asked, why don't you have kids? Why don't you have kids? And then at the end, she's pregnant, right? So there must be something with her and having kids. And I think, well, I'll get into what I think is going to happen. But yeah,
she acknowledged them too, Hanzo.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody caught that. But when she said you want popcorn, she said the kids need popcorn.
The kids need popcorn.
Yes.
That is correct.
Going back to what you said about Hydra before, did you know? I noticed the symbol of Hydra on Norm in the office on his tie.
Oh, really?
He had the Hydra sign, and not only that, Wanda had it on her medallion brooch. You can faintly see it, but it's like engraved on the stone of her chain, of the emerald or whatever she has there. It was on that as well.
It's on the watch too, if I remember correctly.
I saw it on the watch. I was watching on my phone, so I couldn't catch all these details. There's another thing too that I thought was kind of interesting, is that when they're at that little party with Dottie, and Wanda's sitting next to the black woman, and she's like, "Oh, what's your name?" And she hesitates, like she either couldn't remember it, and then she's like, "Oh, it's such and such." And I thought that was kind of interesting too, because much like her at the very beginning of the first episode, they don't really have a connection to the world. They don't remember what's going on. They don't know why they're there. And I kind of got that impression with her as well.
Yeah, you're
absolutely into what it's actual real people, right? Maybe she's undercover there trying to,
like she might have been able to infiltrate, or they have Wanda,
or she's just another victim like Wanda.
They have more than one person trapped, and because when she was first introduced, I think she said, "I don't know who I am," or "I don't know what I'm doing here."
She said, "I don't know."
And then she made it sound that the way they did it was like the whole Psycho scene, right? Cutting somebody without actually cutting somebody. We thought she meant playing her role, but she really was saying subconsciously, "I don't know what I'm doing here," kind of thing. And I did catch that. So, and then that goes with the whole Matrix thingy that they showed at the end. I think this might be some kind of group prison that they're trying to keep people in for some reason.
Yeah, that's why I brought up
explains
Pleasant
the
Hill.
whole who is doing this to you, right? That's an important. As a matter of fact, I think out of the entire damn thing, that radio was literally the best hint of anything. Was the fact that straight up said who was doing this to you, as if you're not in control, that something's wrong with you. And then how did they counteract that? They blew up the damn radio to shut him up. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely think something fishy's going on, whether maybe it is Hydra. The fact that the control room has a sword logo, the fact that the beekeeper had a sword logo was confusing. Because it's like, what are they? What's going on there? It could be quite possible that bee guy wasn't even a real person. Maybe that was her mind trying to do something. Like I said, I don't know. But that control room has a sword logo, so maybe they're hacking into the signal,
Right. That's
and that we haven't seen the actual place where she's the actual control room or per se. You know what I mean?
That's exactly what it is. It's a smoke and mirror. It's making you think that they're the ones controlling it, but no, they're not. They're watching what's going on too, and maybe trying to help her. So I believe that's what.
And I had a question. Because maybe, as much as I'm an attention to detail, this eluded me. Go figure. That device, you see? Okay, you see this person right here, right? You see that device that they're dialing? Is that a phone? Does anybody recognize this technology from any of the past movies or shows? Does that look like a phone?
It's kind of blocked by your name.
Yeah, take the names out.
Take my name off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Anzo, you can take the name completely off. I can only do so much.
Yeah, but I don't know how to take the names off though.
Go to your brand. Go to brand, and then scroll all the way down, and it'll say show display names. There you go.
That's what I can do.
It looks like a controller or a remote control or something like that.
I thought it was a controller.
It looks like a satellite phone.
Yeah, it could be.
No. That's a ColecoVision.
It looks like a ColecoVision remote.
Yes, it does.
It's remote. There is no wire, I don't believe. She picks it up and it's completely remote. I wish I could zoom out, but when I did my video scene for today, this is literally the scene I have.
It looks like a phone where she's dialing something. See, there's a keypad right there.
Phone, but what? Yeah, there's a keypad. There is a 9-digit keypad on it that she's dialing. But if you look at the full screen down here, there is a control board right down here in the bottom right-hand corner. It's an old school production style controller. So that's why I'm like, this can't be a controller, because why did they put one like, and it was like a sore eye. Like you saw all this high-tech stuff, and then you just see this little high school multimedia mixer board to the right. And I'm like, that's got to be a phone or something. Maybe she's reporting back to somebody. And it makes me think that maybe this is some van somewhere that's hacking into the matrix, hacking into the signal.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think it is. Like you said, I think someone is hacking into it. We're going to get into what we didn't like about the episode. I don't know if you guys have any. I have a few, but Gashka, what did you not like about
There was
it?
only one thing I just didn't like: the whole dinner scene when she was making dinner. I just thought they dragged that on too long. Like she could just make dinner like that, right? Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and it was just it was like,
well, but
it was very.
But wait a minute. Well,
she snapped
wait a minute.
her clothes. She snapped her clothes like that, and then it should have been snap clothes, snap food, done.
That's what I thought she was going to do, the whole bewitched thing. But
yeah,
perhaps again, this is because she has some of her faculties, but not in control of everything.
Well, and she can go and feel vision and see that the gum's in his gears and just pull it out like that.
Well, again, I don't know. I'm throwing that out there. I don't know, but I don't disagree with that though. What you say?
Yeah, I think it was more like
she's
sitcom trope kind of thing, you know? Yeah.
She's not amnesia to her powers. Like she literally said, I'm a witch.
Yeah.
Like, I can float a pencil, you're faster than sound. So it's not like she's slowly, learning
She knows
her
who's-
powers or anything like that. I mean, she's,
Mhm.
you know,
You see, and this is the thing that is going to, because now that they're going to have kids, I think the longer she stays in there, the more research whoever has her is able to do, right? So they're trying to make sure that she's enjoying and having a good life. And now that she's going to have kids, it's going to be harder for her to break from that reality to get into the real reality, especially if she doesn't have those kids around. So that's going to be very interesting what they do. Comics, what didn't you like about it?
Hey, I'm sorry. Can you give me 1 second, please? I gotta say this in the chat, the comic chat, and I'm just gonna break to a commercial real fast. Do you have a headache? Do you have a pain that just won't go away? Is somebody on the screen pissing you off? Here, have an Advil. You're a fast pain relief.
He is having way too much fun with this, though. I do like it. I do like it, though.
Me too. Comics, you're up.
I can't say I really have anything negative to say about it. I think, honestly, the most negative thing I can say about it is I don't think there's much rewatchability to it. I guess it depends on how the season progresses. But much like sitcoms, you kind of watch it and it's done. You know, I don't feel the need to go back and rewatch any of this episode just because, I get the point.
Yeah,
it's fun. It was entertaining, but I don't see much of a future for it.
I agree with you. The only way it'll be rewatchable is if later episodes they tie something in that we didn't notice from those episodes. Like, okay, But other than that, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with sitcoms is they're very disposable. You don't have to think too hard. I mean, obviously, there's a lot to think about with the show, but overall, with it, it's just kind of one and done for me. But it's like I had fun. It was great, but don't need to watch it again.
Yeah, Chris.
I agree with the whole one done thing. The only thing I would see that you do here is fast forward through it to catch all the little there's an Easter egg, there's the Easter egg, and start to use that to formulate exactly what it means later on. That's really all you'd have to do. Start taking down note of all the Easter eggs you see, and then as it shows up or as they add context to it in later episodes, just be like, oh yeah, here's that right there. Okay. I don't even know if you're gonna have to go back. Because I don't think either one of these two episodes has enough in it that you'll ever have to go back to. My problem, again, time. What is it with a 26-minute, then a 38-minute or whatever it was?
Well, I think it was very much the same length of a sitcom, which is,
it was, but the thing is that they're two different lengths. I'll look it up here after I'm done.
About the length, sorry, comics. About the lengths, we're just spoiled because now, we don't have any commercials. If you were watching this on a regular TV commercial,
it would be 20 minutes.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine. 26, one was 33.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But
26 minutes is, I think, standard.
It's not about it's not about how long it lasted. It's about can't we pick a time?
I get your talking about, like, just keep it 30 minutes. Can I go on from there?
Forever.
Unlike The Mandalorian, I think 30 minutes is like a perfect
for this. It will work.
Series. There's one other thing I forgot to mention with my criticism. If you're not familiar with TV, specifically, classic sitcoms, a lot of the stuff is going to be lost on people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, all of us are old enough to remember a lot of these TV shows. And so we kind of get the joke, where I think if you're a millennial and you've never watched any of these older shows, you're not going to get it. Now, I can understand why people don't like it, and I can understand why older people don't like it too. But I think some of that kind of like thought process is going to be lost on people because they're just too young.
I agree with you.
A thing that I disliked, but at the same time I think was a good call, was that the first episode is literally, except for the cool Easter eggs and stuff, it is literally pointless. Doesn't need to happen. They could have melded these two in together. This could have been one episode together.
I don't think so, man. I think it kind of sets the stage for everything. I mean, it had a very standard sitcom plot.
Oh yeah, it did. But the right move was to release the second one, because if they didn't, this would not have. I don't think people would have wanted to see the second one as soon, because
they were both black and white. I bet that's why they wanted to get fast forward. They wanted to get to at least get the ball a full rotation, get to the color. That way, we already have it, because we would have complained even more. If we would have got, it would have been like a repeat, like what Comic Division was saying, one and done kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of people didn't even get that the second episode was actually 10, like Positive Pandora says, the second episode was 10 years later. As far as TV show is concerned.
But what I mean is that because I was trying to figure out why they released the first two immediately. They needed to. If you didn't release that second one with this,
no,
I don't think it would have worked as well.
I think you're
very
right.
much. They very much need to do that. So while I disagree with that first episode, I think you could have made the two together. I agree with how they did it. What else did I like? I am over the camp, especially like when Vision had the gum, and it's like, why is he drunk? Because gum's in his works.
It's silly. It's silly.
Sluggish, maybe. Yeah, I understand. I mean, I understand why they did it. It is that, again, like you said, it's that sitcom humor, and it's very bubblegum sitcom. This is not like your newer 90s, 80s, or 90s or 2000s sitcoms. This is very much that 50s, and yeah, it's just which you're absolutely right. If you don't understand this, you're gonna have to go watch TV Land or something. Or is that even a thing still? I don't know. See that? Yeah. See, you'll have to sit your kids down for 2 weeks watching TV Land, then show them this show and be like, "Now do you get it?" And they'll be like, "Oh, I guess."
I kind of expect the 90s to be more like Friends.
Oh, dude. If they don't, I'll be disappointed. Although I don't think Disney will tempt fate. Disney's picked the fight. Well, Netflix has picked the fight with Disney, so they're gonna watch what they poke fun at. I think, but I don't know. We'll see. But it's just more the whole the time it took. The second episode was much better because of the things they added.
I agree,
but it was still. I'm done with it. I watched those shows because they were on TV and that was what you could watch. It was new. I mean, literally that, they need to pick up the pace and get more of the meat into the show. So while they made up for their slow start, they really are going to have to keep the foot down on the pedal. So it's just the pacing right now is kind of weird because it needs to start adding more context instead of playing around with this cool kitschy thing that they're doing, which they're doing great. Don't get me wrong. It's just let's move on.
I agree. Positive, you are up, my friend.
All right. Well, obviously, having Vision in the first episode not remember what the heart on the calendar was for meant. Vision is a person who never forgets anything really in real life. So that's the first clue that he's not actually there.
Not actually there. Good go. Good go.
So, but yeah, just that should be
that's
the first
actually
giveaway.
That's actually a great point. That because he knows, right? They know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Why would he have done that? That's wow. Good call.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's again they're purposely putting stuff in there to let you know that he's not really there. But anyway, so yeah, the whole
call.
Yeah, and I can understand why people don't like it because of the whole, is this all basically a lucid dream basically by her? I mean, that's pretty much what it is when you think about it. So, and then it's again skipping whether it's purposefully or not a decade each episode. So, are people gonna say, well, why is it in color all of a sudden instead, next week, and yeah, what 70s sitcoms are they going to be focusing on? 80s, 90s, double zeros, tens, and then I figured the final 2 episodes will be, in real time, basically. but that's basically how they're going with each episode. So yeah, I think, and they pull in more than one different sitcom basically in both of these episodes easily. I mean, you could throw in I Dream a Genie into it for the second one, in a way, as well as I Love Lucy, Mary Tyler Moore, Dick Van Dyke. I mean, like you said, Ozzy and Harriet. I mean, there's so many that they're basically drawing from that some people, most are not going to get the references and stuff where they're getting, because like I said, these stories are really non-stories. It's just all the little things, the Easter eggs, and then the beekeeper at the end of the second episode mainly is, plus the helicopter that they throw in there is just adding, little doses of reality basically into each episode.
Mm-hmm. But what didn't you like about it? Is there anything you didn't like about the episodes?
Well, I mean, just like I said, that Vision, didn't remember anything, because in real life he would. That's not possible. So
but again, he's cognizant of that.
Yeah,
he is.
Yeah.
So that's why I kind of wonder if, because it doesn't act, what's going on in there doesn't actually exist, he is not actually aware of anything in there, because that doesn't have that doesn't have anything to do with what's in his memory banks. That if it's his digital self in there or something like that, he wouldn't remember it, because he didn't get told it. So he knows he doesn't forget, but he's like, but I don't know this. So
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Danny.
No. I know. I'm looking down here as he goes, and that's why I was laughing too. Is because
can't wait to get you on mixed.
Yeah. I mean, Danny. Hey, if Danny says it sucks, and
is he trying to rewrite "Say You, Say Me"?
Yeah, I mean that's
this show. It sucks. Say it together now. Yeah, it really sucks.
Yeah, pretty
Danny's entitled to his opinion. He's allowed to not like.
He is. Absolutely.
It's all good,
But yeah, I mean the length. But I do believe that later episodes are supposed to be longer, from what I heard. So we'll see if that is the case after number 3. Because I think 3 is again a 30-minute one, but then I've heard that the other ones are about 45 minutes, maybe, or so. So we'll see if that's the case or not.
Mm-hmm. All right. And LDG, what did you not like about it, sir?
Oh, okay. Well, before I start, let me go, because even I can only watch black and white so long. Bear with me, because I'm doing all this on the fly.
There we go.
Fade. It was supposed to fade like the damn show, man. I'm trying.
He'll get it.
Yeah, as far as Danny is concerned, sorry, I can't trust anybody who thinks Endgame is a good show.
It's a terrible movie.
The only thing it's a horrible movie. Tell me about it. The only thing I don't like about WandaVision is the fact that it has to clean up after the shithole we had to see in Endgame.
Oh my God.
One thing I don't like. I'm still here? Okay.
Yeah,
I had to pause for a second. No, seriously. I mean, it has to clean up after the crap that was left after Endgame. Besides that, things I don't like, I can't tell yet. And this is one thing I was telling that I was talking on my channel. It's too early. They did this expecting to release it all at once. So I'm pretty sure the storyboards followed that pattern. It's too early. We have to wait at least another, and I would say I hope another 2 episodes at most before we even get our first carrot. Right now, all we're getting is berries and Easter eggs. I want to see the first actual carrot. Now they've given us a few things. Like I said, I love, a good Matrix story. And I don't mean the fact that they're inside of a generated thing. I mean, how you can rewatch it and see things that you missed. Like 75% of the people who saw Matrix has no clue what the hell they just saw. And it isn't until you rewatch it about 10 times, you're like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. Oh, and you realize that all along you were seeing things you had no clue what you were actually seeing. Now, if they're going to go that route, I'll be honest, the first 2 episodes, I am pretty good at I like that. I love stuff like that. I'll rewatch it. What could this be? What could this be? Right. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of people not even thinking the fact that maybe it wasn't Wanda. Everyone's saying Wanda is the one who rewound the tape, and I'm like, maybe it wasn't her. You know what I mean?
I kind of see it your way. I do see it your way though, because it makes it
I
kind
think
of
that was an emergency stop from the master program, like a black cat. Because something may and the beekeeper, there were bees going around the beekeeper. There's no need for the bees. What were the bees? That's why I think the beekeeper is fake. I don't think it's a real person, because what the hell were the bees doing around him?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Very odd. I think that's kind of the point.
Beekeeper, Grim Reaper.
So we'll see, but straightforward. What did I not like about it? The only thing I really didn't like about it is the fact that we only got 2 episodes. I wanted to see more. I think maybe they should have given us the third. Maybe they should have given us the 2 spoilers, because the first one was short. The second one was a little bit longer, though I didn't expect the Bible script at the end of the freaking commercials. At the end, I mean, we basically got 2 sets of credits, for God's sakes. I think it was the first show I've seen when we got 2 credits, for God's sakes. Maybe they should have released at least 3 of them. That way we would have had at least 1 carrot at the end of the 3rd episode. Besides that, I think it was okay. I want to see where they're going. I think it's too early to pull the dial right now, as far as good or not good. I think they set the stage. The table is set. It's time to see where we go with this and take it from there. Now, give it another next Sunday here at the WandaVision Roundtable. Let's see what happens, and maybe I'll refine my answer.
Yes, sir. All right. So what I didn't like about it, I think I'm going to go with Chris, because I thought we were getting hour episodes. You know what I mean? I thought each episode was going to be an hour. That's what I heard. So I was expecting to see an hour episode. Now, I do think that for the way the episode was, it being 30 minutes worked, because I don't know if I would be able to watch an hour of that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Right. So the fact that they gave them 2 30-minute episodes, but I hope I just, like Chris said, like, if you're gonna do this, like, give us 40-minute episodes all the way around. 30-minute episodes, it's like 29, and then 30, it's like, okay, I get it, but and there's like 10 minutes of credits at the end. You know what I mean? I was sitting there and I was like, wait a minute, there's so much? I was like, yeah, there's a lot of credits. So for me, that's the only thing, though. Other than that, man, I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was definitely good. The intriguing stuff about it is what really catches me. You know what I mean? It's like Comix said, I tried to watch it again, and if it wasn't for just trying to catch little things for it, it's like I wouldn't watch it over and over again. It's something that's not rewatchable. I do agree with that. But for what they're doing a good job. So I do like it. But other than that, I think the episodes should just be a little bit longer. That's the only thing I really don't like. But other than that, we're going to get into what we think is going to happen in this series. Now, I want to hear you guys' predictions, then we can go back later on and see who was right. So, Gaishka, what do you think is going to happen in the show?
Oh, man.
You can either go by next week episode if you want, or the whole thing in general.
I think I'm going to stick to what I said. I think that she was given a way to possibly get Vision back. She was tricked into this, and they have her caught up in this whole limbo world that she's concocting herself. Sword is trying to save her from it, but the whole fact the beekeeper scene itself, he's wearing a sword thing, so that kind of throws me off. But I actually think that it's going to be something it's moving up to a bigger threat, and I think it's going to lead on to, yes, we all know it's going to the multiverse of madness, but this whole multiverse thing is showing that there's a bigger threat out there, like the Eternals and all that. That it's no longer Earthbound, it's spacebound. And I think that they're building up to another war that's coming, and this is going to introduce the whole X-Men. They're going to need more world heroes to combat this thing. So in other words, they're going to probably, like LDG, I don't know if he's listening yet, but I think this is where they're going to fix up this whole Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War type scenario, where now they have the characters to make this whole next level event and kind of give the hardcore fans that didn't get that with the Infinity War and the Endgame and all that, what would they expect that they're going to do it with this next level. So I think it's leading up to that, more galactic, with Sword coming in. I have a feeling that it has to do with Mephisto, that she maybe got connived into making a deal, come with me, and that's where she's in limbo with. But yeah, that's so far that's what I got.
Cool. And comics, what do you think?
For me, I definitely think this is leading into bringing Vision back, because at this point, depending on what they're doing and what their direction is, I can't really see them do another season if they're just sticking to the whole sitcom thing. So I obviously the show has to continue on and evolve, and I think part of it, what we're going to see is Vision coming back. As far as anything else, just kind of based off of some of the photos, it looks like Monica Rambeau is probably going to be in the next episode because she has this very kind of 70s style fro. So I think that's when she's coming in. I know that they have Kat Dennings' character is going to be coming at some point. I guess maybe they'll bring her in when they hit the 2010s. I mean, that's really it. I'm not sure where they're really kind of going with it. If it's Hydra that's doing it, is it Sword? Is it Mephisto? I don't know. It's that's the thing I kind of like about it is how kind of like quirky and weird it is, and it definitely makes you think, and that's what I kind of like about the show. Is I like things that kind of make you think a bit.
I agree.
And there's the cat.
Chris.
Man, I think we're all going to be right in some senses. This show, because attaching to the multiverse, is going to be the key to. This is going to be the way you can integrate other things. X-Men, Hydra can come back. So I really, really think that this is going to be our introduction to the X-Men. Maybe what?
Doctor Doom.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think they're definitely gonna take it to a cosmic level.
Yeah, but I think you can bring Fantastic Four in with this, since we know they're going to be doing that. We know that they're getting ready to do Blade and all this other stuff, and these shows, and I think we've talked about it before they started coming out, that these shows were going to be the way to introduce it without having to take precious movie time. To introduce it.
Absolutely.
These shows are easy. And so when people were like, oh, I don't know if I want to watch MCU stuff on a series basis, I'm like, but it is the easiest way for them to cut up the addition of all these characters that they've wanted to introduce and not have to waste time in a movie to do it. It's fun when you get 5 seconds of a cameo of a character at the end of a movie or in just a quick spot in the movie, and they can still do that, but that's when you'll know they're introducing it to the movie universe. Right now, this is where you do their quick setup. You don't need a lot of setup when it comes to Magneto or to the X-Men and stuff, because they're not going to change characters fundamentally that much. I don't think the only character they kind of have to fix is Wanda. Because
you actually need to make her the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're working on is how to integrate her and the characters they've had to tweak a little bit because they didn't have ownership or weren't able to use that word. Think about it like Blofeld. Think about it like Blofeld. People love Blofeld as a villain in Bond, but because of rights, they weren't able to do it until they did Spectre. It's kind of like that. It's like now they have the key to bring everything back, which is easier to rewrite how the X-Men and all this other stuff is done, or to correct little bits and pieces we had to change in one character. They're going to take the one character and say, okay, now all we have to do is make sure people now know that she's Scarlet Witch and she's a mutant. Two things you got to fix instead of having to totally rewrite what a mutant is or why we weren't using the word before.
Well, that's what they did. Is they introduced them as miracles. You know?
Exactly. So we fix the little problem and bring the rest of it to it. Mm-hmm. And that's what these TV shows are going to be. This works much better for the MCU than it does for Star Wars. But we'll see how Star Wars.
Point. I'm not sure if your normies that are watching the MCU are going to rush out and get Disney Plus to watch these series. So
maybe not.
A lot of information. I think when they come up with the next shows and they're introducing a lot of these things that have been introduced in the shows, people are going to be confused as to where it came from.
Caveat to that, though. As soon as they hear that these things are being integrated into these series and they're interested, because, okay, everybody knows the X-Men movie series.
Same thing with Star Wars, man. There's like a lot of people that didn't know that Darth Maul was still alive. And the reason why we knew he's alive was because of the cartoons. Not a lot of people rushed out to watch Clone Wars. And so when they introduced him again, it's like, well, I thought he was dead.
Mm-hmm. But the Clone Wars wasn't on a streaming service. That was just on TV. Yeah, so I mean, I think that's because people, if you're into Star Wars or if you're interested mildly in Star Wars, you're probably interested. I didn't start
watching Clone Wars until season 5.
Okay, I started watching it immediately, and then it dropped. Then I dropped away from it. I need to go back and watch a lot of it. But I love the show. What I mean is if you are live action Star Wars, even if you're a normie or whatever you want to say, you're probably not going to pull off into that unless you hear that there's a lot of stuff you're missing. The MCU TV series is going to have a lot more in it than Clone Wars did. Clone Wars just shows you what happens between episode 2, 3, and then Rebels picks up a little after that. It's not necessary. The movies still work without it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
MCU, though, this is an opportunity that stuff that, again, takes valuable time away from a movie can be done at a lesser cost and in a way that you can explain what's going on over a longer period of time.
Well, honestly, I think superhero stories work better as a TV show than a movie.
Oh, yeah, they do. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's been pretty good. I didn't mind it. Agent Carter, I thought was an interesting take. I mean, a lot of these shows,
that was good.
Even the CW stuff, which I don't watch a lot. I have an issue because, again, put money towards your show. I don't think the writing's always horrible. Some of it is. Batwoman, God forbid. I don't know how they're basically trying to reboot that from scratch and act like it's like, what the hell's going on? Anyways,
I'm looking forward to that dumpster fire.
Dude, they heard dumpster fire from the first season, and they're like, "Oh God, we got to fix this. We got to fix this."
Dumpster fires going.
No. They're like, "We got to fix this. We got to fix this." Anybody got any ideas? Yeah, I got a 50-gallon drum of gasoline. Let's pour it on the fire and see what happens.
And then we'll set the sucker out to sea to sail.
Comic. How much of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. did you watch?
I watched the first 2 seasons and I couldn't stomach anymore.
Yeah, it gets a lot better after that.
I've heard, but I was just like, don't care.
Yeah, I feel you. Positive Candor, where do you think it's going? I know you got a lot of this.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely going the multiverse route. There's no doubt about that. Just because they're tying this into both Spider-Man 3 and Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because we know Spider-Man 3 is going to be a multiverse with all the different Spider-Men in that movie in the first place. So, yeah, I think this will give little tidbits as to like parts of both of those movies. It'll probably lead into other movies as well, or even other TV shows. But yeah, that Monica Rambeau is already in this. She's Gwendolyn in episode 2. She just doesn't know it yet. That's why she couldn't come up with her.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was the same actress or not.
No, it was her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
and she is a sword agent in the comics and everything.
Hey, there you go. You're right. It is. She says Gwendolyn in IMDb as well as Monica Rambo.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they're gonna heavily tell us what, or hopefully what sword is and what they're doing. Because that's the big thing. The beekeeper could be, I've heard one or two things. It could be Swarm, who is a Spider-Man villain, a German Spider-Man villain, basically.
It's a good one. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Because you think of all the bees around his face, so you think of a swarm of bees. So Swarm is a villain. So that even though he's wearing the sword logo on his back, that could be, just something for him to blend in, basically, So yeah, I think they're going to introduce some villains in this series that will be also featured in either Spider-Man 3 or Doctor Strange 2, and maybe some other either shows or movies as well. So that they purposely and the key is always going to be, I guess, the commercials, the little mini 15-second commercials or 30-second, whatever they are, in each episode is really the key to where they're going. Because the first one was Stark, the second was Strucker. So we'll see what the third one is, But that is very much the key to each episode is that little mini commercial right in the middle of each episode right now.
I agree.
I'm looking forward. He dropped off. I was like, Danny Angst.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to hear what he had.
I think he just wanted to come in and stare us all down.
I probably walked in the room and said, "What are you doing?"
I can't believe you guys are watching.
And Danny will probably be the ultimate villain of this series. Right?
Oh, yeah, sure.
That'd be so funny. Danny show up in like the last episode. Ha! Told you all sucked.
LDG, what do you think?
Like I said, I think it's too early. I definitely don't think this has anything to do with the multiverse. It might lead up to the multiverse. I don't think it has anything to do with the multiverse right now. It might be the stepping stones up to it, but we're not seeing multiverse. I just don't see any evidence to that. The only other thing I have in the back of my head that this might be connected to is the Mind Stone. Maybe she's in the Mind Stone. Maybe she's trying to use the Mind Stone. Maybe she and again, I keep going back to Wanda, who is doing this to you. Maybe Hydra cut a deal with her and said we can bring Vision back, and the trick is something to do with the Mind Stone. And she's inside her own mind, and somehow they're tapped into it somehow. Again, we don't know. We're gonna need more. We're gonna need a couple more episodes. I'm in. Okay. Even though I was out of Picard when he had to spell his own name to Starfleet Command, I'm still in right now until I see something otherwise. I'm ready for the next episode. Let's see what they give us and see how it goes. But yeah, like I said, we'll have to stay tuned to the next roundtable to get more from what I think.
Yeah.
No, it's not your phone. It's StreamYard's on a phone. Trust me. It doesn't matter how good your phone is or how new. It's just StreamYard's needs to invest some time into the mobile side of it. Let me go back. I want to answer something here.
Which one?
Danny said, is it down here? Okay, they can't fix it. Chris, she got her powers from Infinity Stone. I know that they kind of imply that, but I don't think they directly show it like that. They do imply that's where but I think Disney's very smart because they know as soon as a property goes away or somebody sells a company and it has the Marvel tag on it, they're going to get it. So I don't think they'd ever, and again, I'll have to go back and watch it to make sure I am, and Geiskar's kind of agreeing with me that they don't absolutely say that. They're smart enough to know that we can't totally destroy a character per se because we might get it. They're doing the smart move with Spider-Man because they're working with Sony now, and they're going to probably work with Sony until Sony sells so they can continue the line of story they're telling. And as long as they can integrate it with the storyline that Sony's telling in their other Spider-Verse stuff, if they can kind of have their hand in that, which I think they will, think Disney will help Sony with stuff enough that they can kind of control some of that story. They have very little they have to fix with Wanda.
Yeah,
very little.
For the record, they could have easily said she already was, like, if they bring back this whole mutant thing, which I think is foolish anyway.
They're going to.
Mutants, okay? No. I'm not saying bringing it out. The fact that they couldn't in the first place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That was just because Fox owned it.
I don't need this to hear the stupidity again. I know the reason why. I said I'm not happy with it, but we can. It wasn't like what you said. The Mind Stone didn't directly give her powers, but she was exposed to the Mind Gem that could have amplified what she already had. And they can, if they go that route with it, then she can still be a mutant and just say, well, the Mind Stone just like supercharged you. You gave you a moment of clarity or something that you didn't have before. They could write around that. They could write around it. I'm sure.
And don't forget. Don't forget that Vision hid from Ultron in Age of Ultron.
What was that?
I said, don't forget that Vision hid from Ultron in Age of Ultron in that movie, in the internet, basically. So who's to say that he didn't download a part of himself or a part of himself still should reside on the internet and with Stark, really, when you think about it. So they have, even though he died physically, he's not dead. Whatever.
We learned in Bakar that you can bring data back from a single neuron. So yeah, sure, totally. I can see that.
Stop bringing up Guard, man. That show's trash.
Thank you.
I have a little theory where I think whatever's happening to her, like, she's gonna be so invested in the universe that she's in now that she's not gonna want to come out. And when Sword, I guess if it is Sword that saves her and tries to get her out, she's gonna like basically lose it, and she's gonna rip a hole in the fabric of time, which is gonna create the multiverse. Because in the comic, in the House of M, like, I didn't really read it, but that's the reason why I like this show, is because after it, I went back and I started doing research and trying to connect certain things to it. And at the end of House of M, she says no more mutants and wipes out half of the mutants. So I think there's something in this that maybe not wipes out the mutant,
but brings them
into play. Yeah.
And I can agree with that. That is that's probably why I'm so interested in these series, is because this is where we're going to get all of those characters are getting ready to add, because they don't have enough time in their movie line to waste to add in. Thank you. Ethan, guys.
What's up?
Sponsored by Firehouse.
You know?
Yeah. Brought to you by Firehouse.
I like Firehouse subs. They're pretty good.
He works there. He hates them.
Fair.
After making them all.
But it's like you said, Chris, because they can introduce X-Men and they don't have to do these origin stories.
Exactly.
God, no more origin stories.
Well, that's what I'm saying. you can do a light reboot origin for everybody within these series.
Stop. Please don't put the word reboot and origin in the same sentence, please.
All right, stop. LEG, I'm going to send you back to black and white. They can do these soft, light reboot origin stories. Reboot origins that
they don't need to reboot something in a second.
What I mean is that they can, people again know the characters enough that you can introduce them softly into this, and you don't need that backstory completely.
Soft introduction. Thank you. Was that so hard?
I just liked that I was getting a rise out of you. Thank you.
Not the way you should have put that, but yeah, okay.
So you're saying, wait. Time out. I got to ask him a question now. So what you're saying is by saying soft reboot origin story, that gives you a rise? If I say it more seductively, like soft reboot origin story. Bing! Yeah. All right. No.
That's going to be our next Wednesday show, by the way?
No. There.
And just to cover Anzo.
That's nice.
There you go.
Okay.
But
here.
They don't have to go back and just rewrite the X-Men. They just have to introduce them. And then when they get to the movies, they can add their backstory, flashback, whatever they want in little bits and pieces. They don't have to do a ton then.
I agree.
And so that's why I'm really interested in the MCU series, because there's a lot that they can throw in there that we don't need in the movies. And very much like LDG said, he's absolutely right. We don't need those words that he hates me saying in succession to each other.
Do you think in a way this is a teaser for the What If series in a way?
I think
a what if when you think about it.
No,
I don't think it's a what if. I think it's more of the trying to
understand what if.
But don't be surprised that if there's a what if storyline that catches on really heavy, that they don't buy into it and add it to their apps, their actual canon.
Let's see.
Watcher.
Well, Watcher is in it, right? In the what if, because he's the one narrating it.
Well, he is the what if.
Yeah,
he's the what if machine.
Well, this was a great show, guys. We're going to close it down. We'll be back next week for episode 3. I do appreciate all you guys coming on today. It was a great show. Guys, got to talk about your channel one last time, my friend.
Yeah, you can find me on the Basco Scenario. Check out my COD clips there. You can
wait, shit. Hold on.
Yes.
I forgot the grades.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see how hard this is, and then you only have 6 people here.
Well, there should be 2 more, but they'll be back.
Well, that's true, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I forgot the grades. Holy cow!
Oh shit! True, the ratings.
See how hard it is when you're as organized as Chris.
I would have to go with a B+.
All right,
give it a B+ as well.
Chris.
Are we talking about the 2 episodes together?
Yeah, both together.
I am at least.
B or B+.
Positive.
Yeah, I'd say a B to the most because it has to get better.
They're doing it.
No, keep going down. Keep going down.
B for beekeeper. That's my.
Wow.
He said WandaVision, not Endgame comic.
Wow. And LDG, what's your grade?
You know what? You know how I always like to be different, right? So as far as like MCU is concerned, as far as WandaVision is concerned, storyline and plot, I'd give it a B-. Maybe even a C+ right in that area, because as far as plot is concerned, we really got nothing. As far as an interesting change of pace as far as the how they're trying to feed us everything. What they did with the whole black and white unique aspect of this way they're doing it. I'm gonna give it an A. I mean, what they did, it was an A. The whole Dick Van Dyke thing, that whole part of it, I give them an A. It was great. I enjoyed it. I smiled. I actually even watched it again just for that reason. But as far as like, could they have given us some more, except for some a crap load of Easter eggs and a small little breadcrumb, maybe 2. I get like a C plus B minus. They could have given us at least one chunk of carrot. Just one chunk of carrot. Okay, you hang a carrot in front of a rabbit. Let us just get one nibble, just one bite, and then we'll be good for the next one.
Got you. I'm gonna go with the panel. I'm gonna give it like a B plus. It's the stuff that intrigued me about it that really has me like, okay, this is very interesting. All the Dick Van Dyke and all that sitcom stuff, it was good, but it was just like something that if I don't have to watch it again, I won't. But the mystery of the show, like what the hell is going on, is what's keeping me. So for me, it's a B plus.
That's why I gave it a B, is because I'm right. I'm on board with what LDG is saying. There's absolutely really not much in either of these episodes, but the first one was kind of that, what the fuck? But I do like it. It's funny. It's kind of kitschy how they're doing it. The second one comes up. They started integrating these little bits and pieces. You're like, okay, obviously something's up. And you knew that. I mean, we already knew that because they have it in the teaser. It's going to wear off quick if they don't really start injecting some of this.
I got a rebuttal because there's only 9 episodes, and that's why I'm saying they should have given us at least a single bite. They just knocked out two out of their 9 episodes. We deserved a little bit more of a chunk off the carrot. And that's why I was like, they could have given us something more and still given what you wanted, still suspense to the next episode, but you only have 7 episodes left. You know what I mean?
I agree. And go ahead, Chris. Before
I totally agree with that. You just cannot. Again, goes back to what we said during the Mandalorian.
Not even hours, for God's sake.
Going back to what we said about the Mandalorian. Go back to what we said during the Mandalorian roundtable. They did a good job there at the end, continuing that momentum better than they had in the first season. But you have precious little time to play with things that aren't important to what you're doing. If we were talking like on TV, like let's say Chicago Fire or something like 22 episodes, 45, 40, 30 minutes, whatever you got in it, you can play around a little more. But even they do it better with that many episodes. More episodes lead to a central point. For instance, 911. They'll have a major disaster at the beginning of the season, and as the season goes on, it's just the repercussions and how everybody deals with it while they're in their day-to-day jobs. But it continues. That storyline is easily seen because they give it all to you up front. I mean, they could give us the whole storyline up front and then expand on it from that point on about how what's the repercussions from what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so what they're doing isn't bad, but they really need to get this idea that you have 2 to 3 episodes to play with. You don't. When you've got 9 episodes, you got 9 episodes to get the facts out there.
I agree. Well, next week, we're going to have 2 people on the panel that didn't like it because JJ didn't like it either. So, I mean, hey, we get different perspectives. Not everybody's going to like it. I get that. It's all good.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good, because
it's good to have that diversity of opinion. So
right, to have everybody on here saying it's great.
Absolutely.
It's great. Yeah, you need someone to say no, man, that's crap, So I agree with that. That's how I was on the Mandalorian panel, anyway. Right?
And they're probably hating that it's basically a slow burn.
Yeah, exactly. I think
they're probably hating that this is a slow burn.
Yeah,
towards basically the whole 9 episodes.
That's like a good steak, right? You can't burn it.
Right, you got to cook it nice.
And now Danny has to go and wash his mouth out with soap because he agreed with me.
All right, guys, now you can continue. Talk about
You catch me here on Sundays at 9 p.m. for the Big Report Entertainment WandaVision Roundtable. as well as on Tuesdays at 9 on the Chaos list. And Wednesdays, you catch me at 7, Rule of 3. Then right after at 9 o'clock on the OOC.
Excellent. And Comic, you're up.
Hi, I'm Comix Division, and I need a sandwich because I'm hungry.
Can I sign up for that? How much is that subscription service? Can I get a sandwich subscription? What?
Didn't you just get a sandwich brought to you? Or was it only
No, just a drink. He brings me no. I wish.
He ate the sandwich.
He ate it.
Yeah, I derailed that. You can find me on my channel, Comix Division, as well as on Twitter and mine's at Comix Division. And let's see, I do a stream on every Monday and Thursday. And I'm also on this little known show called Friday Night Tights that nobody's heard of. So
what is it?
Friday Night Tights.
Friday
Night Tights. Yes. Tights.
What that show was about?
Is there anybody on that I would know?
Probably not.
Okay. Just checking, because I mean,
You guys all wearing tights and showing off the booties or something on the show?
Oh God! Please, Anza, watch the show before you say something like that again. Oh my God!
That might be wearing the tights, but I don't think everyone else is sitting around in their underwear. Probably.
I'm probably gonna do it right now.
Great. I'm gonna have to stop watching for a minute because I cannot think of it like that. No. Yes, please.
Yeah, I check out a lot of the stuff on your channel, man. Good shows you got there, Comics, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Chris, you're up.
Real Review 3000, Chaos Central. Chaos Central's we got some stuff in the works. We're working on getting our Twitter and Facebook and all that built up, and of course we're doing all the shows on the YouTube channel. Got more to add to that. On the Real Review 3000, I've got this new thing I'm doing called the Rant. Still got the weekly Rumble. We've got the Tournament of Champions coming up. Round 1 is this Thursday. Round 2 is the Thursday after, and then the week before the Super Bowl, we will have the final with 4 people, 1 champion to rule all champions. And listen to you. But it got that. The weekly wrap up I do Thursdays, not Thursdays, Wednesdays we do the Rule of 3. Tuesdays, the Chaos List on Anza's channel and Chaos Central. Right now we're taking a break, but the Chaotic Conversation is over on Danny's channel and on Chaos Central. Lots and lots and lots and lots of different things going on. And we're really working towards getting some really exciting things going. So check it out, please.
Yes, definitely. Positive Candor.
Yes, Positive Candor here. Can check me out on Positive Candor, where I'll review episode 3 on Friday afternoon. And definitely come back on this panel again next week, and we'll talk about that 70s show probably, or whatever. This is going to be imitating.
Great job. LDG, last but not least, my friend. Go ahead.
What's going on, guys? LDG Pixels here to help those with the tech issues. You have help with software, hardware, own a Mac. Any issues at all, guys, come hit me up. Usually stream in the morning. I'm also on Twitter, Minds, Facebook, and Twitch at LDG Pixels. And also at our secondary channel, entertainment channel. Excuse me. Nerds enjoy Nerdrotica. You ever switch to YouTube and ask, 1 second, and I'm 1 microsecond behind. Ever go to YouTube and ask,
found anything yet? We ain't found shit.
Join us here at the waiting room. The stream between the streams guaranteed to be slightly only better than watching paint dry, waiting for someone cooler to stream. As you can see, we promote those who deserve it. Seeing who's streaming, kick you out, tell you to go watch them, and come back and hang out. We do open panels, open topics, watch parties, etc. Currently doing Married with Children on Saturday, and WandaVision on Thursday. Also, LDG Pixels, Free the Net, Project Prometheus, a true public forum about time to do things the way, damn it, what's that called? What's the one called? The one that just got shut down?
Parlor.
Doing what Parlor couldn't. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Great show today, guys.
And Parlor's back, by the way, if you didn't know.
Is it?
Oh, awesome.
Really? Oh, is it? Sweet.
Yeah, they found a server, but get your tinfoil hat on really quick, and let me just tell you that chances are the reason. Okay, well, but here's the thing. Chances are they're probably still on Amazon, whether or not they tell you or not, and chances are the government got a second or two with their servers to be able to find out about you. So just going to say, guys, you are more than welcome to say what you want to say, but just be careful.
Yeah, be smart about things.
Yeah,
I usually start it with my opinion, guys. Best advice in the world. Whenever you say anything, add my opinion in front of it.
That is correct.
Well, that's just your opinion, and you didn't say it in front of it.
My opinion. That you should say my opinion. Exactly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, your opinion sucks.
I agree with that one. I do appreciate you guys coming on, man. It's always humbling to see you guys come hang out with me and the chat that watches the show. I do appreciate it. You guys come back next week for episode 2, where we discuss episode 3 of WandaVision. So with that being said, guys, we are out. Peace.
Hey, everybody. But an apple eventually rocks.
We are an unusual couple.
Really?
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
Try